Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Iowa soccer supporters. I'm Ben Brackett, your Soccer Talk co-host, alongside my good friend and pal Blake Sievers. Siebes, look at ourselves on the video. We look nice. I mean, it's all set up. It's looking good. How you doing?
I'm good. I love the nighttime podcast. Tune in to YouTube, see what's going on. We heard some issues we had with lighting, so we went from daytime to nighttime.
Yeah, we're gonna work on some, Hollywood style lights here soon enough. Oh, and if you have been paying attention to the podcast, you'll know that's Charlie in the background because we are currently at the lair, which is also known as the Titan Tacticians home. Matt Sahag, you're with us. It's so nice to see you as well. What's going on?
It's good to see you too. I'm looking forward to the pod. I agree. It's definitely a different lighting scenario. So we'll see how it goes.
Just calling it like he sees it as usual. What game do we check out this last week? One of our actually like mini pitch favorite communities right now, like by a margin.
Yes, we went. From my house, almost straight east to Newton.
We jigged and jogged a little bit, didn't we? Because the flooding.
And we did. Yeah,
it was a fun little gravel travel.
It was. So Newton Cardinals, Zach Jensen the program has been a long time supporter of Kick It Forward. I mean, they were part of the original first ever high school futsal battle royale. Had a team every year in it until this past year, which, we won't let them forget that. But it's been cool. Super good guy, Johnson Dragon. And then now old Brett Lundberg's been killing it for the mini pitch up there.
Yeah, so just to rewind, if Blake didn't mention that before, because I don't think that he did. We were working on a mini pitch with the city of Newton, and the soccer team's really the one, kind of high school soccer team's the one leading the charge. So super cool. Check it out if you want.
If you guys want to know how to bring a mini pitch to your community, small, big, reach out because
this is a perfect example
there.
Yeah, and we talked to Brett at Newton like a year ago, and he'll be done before the end of the summer, I would guess. So
he loves a good time too. I saw him in the Adventureland Lazy River last summer, and then I saw him just again a couple weeks ago at the Zach Bryan concert.
Oh, just like yourself, loves a good time. Speaking of a good time, we were on our way to Newton, and tell me about the weather here, because we posted sort of a little teaser the other night, and then I've got another really nice weather report from before the game. Just talk to me about it real quick, Mr. Weatherman.
So I don't know if you guys people know, but from Des Moines, or at least from my house, you get on 163, which is the highway going just past the fairgrounds, depending on where you're going. But we're driving out there, and obviously we've had a lot of rain. And you look, and we see on Twitter that there's a couple games that have been postponed.
Yeah, and it starts out west, it's like Haydell's game, and then it's Waukees game, and then you're seeing like a Valley cancellation or something, and we look at the radar, and
it's like, all right, this isn't great, but we keep going. These stinking dogs again.
I don't know if the listeners can hear it. It might be sounded out. So everyone's going to be like, "Why are you complaining about dogs when no one can hear them?" But my dog is barking in the background.
For the hearing aids acting up as just barking at him.
So we start heading east, and all of a sudden we see a detour because of like high water, and we're like, "Oh no!" And then we see the storms. We don't know what's happening. So, anyways, we make it to Newton, 10-minute detour, and all of a sudden it absolutely
unloads,
comes down.
Yeah, so thunder and lightning. So we post up, find a little spot to take cover, and we were able to let's just say we took the game in from afar, but still in Newton, and it was an entertaining matchup, a wet one for sure. And I mean, these are two teams with equal records. They were both 10-3 going into it. They're in the same class. They both play a mixture of larger school teams and they're 4A and 3A teams is what I mean to say. So talk to me about it real quick, Blake, before we pass it off the tactician.
No, I like it. Like you said, they both play big schools. I guess at least 4A schools.
It's a great matchup. Oh, and by the way, a little foreshadowing, potential sub-state final matchup.
Absolutely. So I don't know if we want to get there, but yeah. So
we'll get there.
Yeah.
But...
So Newton, DCG, the 1 seed. So right, the sub-state got released on Monday, I believe.
That's correct.
So this game happened on
Tuesday.
So day before. Newton is the 3 seed, Pell is the 4. If they come out of the bottom side, they run into the number 1 seed DCG if they can make it. So you want to talk like interesting and tactics and whatnot, like those two teams potentially may play each other. So what do they do?
Exactly. Do you go for it? Do you pull back? Do you saving people for? And the thing that's crazy about this, and Matt, I hope you'll chime in on this at some point, but it's May 9th today. We're recording, a little bit late just because of all the things that happen and go on. But the sub-states released next Tuesday, the 14th, is the first day of sub-state. So that's 6 days away, 5-6 days away, depending on how you're counting it. I mean, it's a quick turnaround to when you consider it hasn't even really been a full 10 weeks. So, I mean, these games are getting, jammed in there. And, I mean, they're just sort of racing the end of the season. There are people playing end of the season, like regular season games next Monday before their sub-state games. So,
and it's a little Hawkeye conference game. So that's,
the conference records.
I mean, DCG was the top of the table.
That's really all we need to know. Let's throw it over to the tactician. Titan, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm just going to give you a warning here that we're going to need some filler, and the reason for that is because I'm not the host and I can't share my screen right now.
Well, that's great.
So go ahead and fill away.
So here, I'll give it a little insight. Going into the game, I don't know how many people knew this. If Jensen, Lundenberg, and crew knew this, but DCG was missing a few starters due to I don't know. I don't want to get too into it, but a few reasons. Obviously, right, late in the season, injuries are always a problem.
Are you talking like prom punishment here?
No, not at all. Actually,
okay. Fair enough.
Just like I think just a lot of games and injuries pop up. So we're looking at, here you go. Speaking of YouTube, here's a sub-state, number 5 in Class 3A.
Perfect.
Yeah, I figured I'd just pull that up because you guys are talking about it. But there's right. So winner of Atlantic, winner set plays DCG, and then like you guys said, Newton DCG are going to score off again. Looks like
maybe. So Newton played Pella just 2 weeks ago, maybe.
What was the score?
Shootout.
Really?
Yeah, Pella wins in the shootout.
It's really interesting when we talk to all these coaches in the off season, as you're pulling up your other clip map. I mean, because they all get along great, but man, they've got to feel a little competition because they're always getting put together in sub-state or in the big games, aren't they? Sure are, Ben. Matt, so why don't you go ahead and we shared our screen with you. So like we said, rainy night. I mean, it was absolutely pouring. If you check out the VO cam, just absolutely pouring. And so like
2 minutes before kickoff, like we're ready to go.
We're
there. We're in the stadium. We're ready to go. And then Mother Nature opens up.
And so where are we going here, Matt? You've got us.
Let's go straight to the action here. Let's go to the
what we like.
I believe it's the first goal. So help me out again. Can we just give away the score here? Because I feel like
that's how we need to do this.
Anyway.
Yeah.
So end score is 4-1,
correct,
to DCG. So
and it was a close game that then became not close.
It was, but wasn't it? Was 1-1 for a little bit, right?
That's correct. That's why I'm saying it was a close game.
Okay, so I only say that because I've got some clips here, and so this is the first goal of the game here. But unfortunately, I don't have Newton's goal, but this is where the action starts. So this is where I wanted to pick it up. So let's just watch the sequence first. There's a little shining light at the top middle of your screen. That's not like a house light. That's actually the ball.
Holy smokes. That thing's way up there.
Wait, hang on. I think it is. I think that's it. The ball. No, it's not the ball. It was almost.
You're saying it's the back post. There you go.
There it is. It's pretty close. It goes right over that light. That actually is a house light.
Okay, so this is again great pitch for the YouTube.
All right, so here comes the ball. Gets cleared out to the right.
Via's a little slow to react.
Look at that tackle out for a throw in.
And so we're watching the two teams sort of, essentially set up. And there's a massive gap between midfield and defense, but a ball comes in to the back post.
And there's a goal. First goal. So, yeah, I mean, I can hear Brackett sign because I'm sure he's
That was
seen.
Blake.
Oh, somebody's side, but so if it wasn't one of you two, then maybe it was me, because there's a number of different things that just come to mind here in my mind here for
Newton, who are in black.
Yeah, Newton's in black. DCG's attacking, and I think
In
when
white.
Newton watches this film, they're going to say, "Man, we really gave some goals away here that we probably shouldn't have." And so let's. I've got some still photos here too, but if we go slow here, look, the ball's in between the two uprights around for the football post. But for me,
deep ball to the back post, like almost to the back side of the 6, and like out of bounds.
Right. So there's the ball, bounces. The DCG players, good little piece of technique there, really, though, right? We could talk all the day about the defending, but he's shielded by the ball right now from the defender, and somehow he's able to actually get his left foot on it and just kind of change the direction with his first touch and get it back into play, which makes the Newton player react and clear it. So ball goes out of play, and then, all right. So I want to break this down a little bit here for on the still shots, because I think this is a couple things I want to note. Number one, so this is actually when the ball here is. I actually don't know where the ball is, but what I want to point out is
the shape.
Well, it's not the shape, actually. What I want to point out is where the goalkeeper is, right? So the goalkeeper is on his front post, and I'm not a goalkeeper coach, and so I'd be interested if we get some goalkeepers who play as goalkeeper, or some coaches.
Input,
tell us about maybe a little bit about this goalkeeper's positioning. But I'm concerned because he's on the front post already, right? And we already know, because we've seen it, the ball goes in deep. And so if the ball beats him, he's backing up instead of coming to meet the ball. So that's the first takeaway for me in that first still shot. All right. So if we go then to this, okay. The second.
Are we going to the second still shot, Matt?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
Is that what comes after the first still shot?
Yeah.
There we go.
So here's the second still shot. Now this ball now has gone.
Goalkeeper's made some distance up.
He has, but this ball has now traveled all the way this way and gone this way. And the next thing I want to point out is this Newton player here. So he's got an option. This ball is up in the air, and instead of taking it out of the air and just glancing it out for a corner or somewhere else, he's allowed this ball. If you look at his body shape right now, look, he's just sort of standing like this.
Square.
And he lets the ball bounce. So here's the big takeaway for me here. And when you're in the back in a position like this, it's safety versus risk, right? And so there's a player right on his back, and he's assuming here, I think, that the ball is going to go out of bounds.
100%.
But
the ball's going out of bounds. I think I'll stick up for the boy, which is terrible. But right, you assume it's going out because it's been overhit, and then like you said, Matt, good piece of skill. Now you're in big trouble.
Right. But if you're facing in this direction, right, you have to be thinking safety. It's 0-0 right now, and you rather give away a corner than something different. Now, this actually particular play doesn't necessarily lead to the goal, but the reason why I want to go over these details is because I think when this goal gets scored, the majority of the people are going to blame the goalkeeper. I really do, for this goal. But as we all know, usually when the goalkeeper makes a mistake, there's been a number of mistakes before it. And I think this is one of them. I think if he actually just glances the ball out of bounds, I think this whole sequence changes.
I thought the ball was out of bounds, but look at the lino. I mean, he's right on. I mean, he's
so
a
by
long
the
ways
line,
away, but
Blake
he's on the
means
line.
Blake means the far side linesman.
He's done well.
He's done very well. Matt's highlighted him very nicely in electric green. So he's done well. He's kept the ball in. I mean, I think both your points are totally accurate, and then it becomes a situation of like as defenders, all three of us. I mean, you do like anytime a goal is scored, it's sort of indictment on the squad, on the back four, on the goalkeeper, right? But then you have to sit there and like you can pick it apart. And the worst is when you can find like 4 or 5 other times where it broke down before it gets to you, and you're sort of stuck. And that's where that goalkeeper is really ultimately, right? You know, like this isn't even a chance if a couple things don't go this way.
Right. So I do need to correct something. You know what? I'm just remembering now. My first photo, this is out of sequence. Sorry. Yeah. So this is actually the first photo.
Oh, beautiful.
Then we go to the second one. That's why I always point out where the goalkeeper was. But we'll keep going because it's not going to make a whole lot of difference. All right. So here's the next still I've got, and this is one of my favorite defensive moments of the season so far. And because I feel like we've talked, especially in the last game, we talked about just sort of half defending. We talked about it in another game too.
Pretend defending.
Yeah, pretend defending
was brought up. Yeah,
and then
I'm saying half thing, pretend defending. We've talked about it a bunch.
Fred talked about it last session too. If you remembered this, the play from the video, this ball gets cleared, and this right here, this heap lying on the ground, this is the Newton player, and he has traveled as the ball went out all the way here to here. He has sprinted out and he has won the ball before it gets out to the outside back. And for me, that's what you call pressure on the ball. And so I think it's a really good sequence for him. So I want to find this real quick. So, okay, here he is right here. So if you look at the 6-yard box right now, he's the boy in the corner of the 6-yard box.
Furthest left, playing left back.
Furthest left, right.
Or maybe left mid.
So watch how far he travels here.
That's some good pace right there.
Right? He's sprinting. You see the ball coming to the screen? The ball's only 2 yards from the attacker.
I love that.
This guy, look how hard he works to get to the ball and win the ball. And it goes out of bounds.
Great pressure.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that's tremendous pressure, right? And that's what pressure on the ball is. Now, he better be sure he wins that ball, because if he doesn't, then he's
even look where he's at, though. Even if the guy gets past him,
he's got cover.
Well, he's just so far out there, he can foul him. He's out by it's a free kick from, I would argue, a potentially maybe kind of dangerous position.
Yeah. But, right. Okay. So now let's just watch or fast forward a little bit, and I'll show you the next still. All right. So same guy gets up, right? So this is what you call going from hero to zero really quickly. All right. So same guy gets up. There's the throw in, right? So ball gets thrown in. I like this little play from DCG, kind of turns. He's not going anywhere. So he cuts it back and lays it off. All right.
It's 3-2 over there, huh?
Here comes the cross. And then what I wanted to point out was when the cross happens right here, same guy, look at his distance between the crosser and the pressure on the ball, right? And so to me, that's the difference. So it's a little bit difficult, I think, because the ball got in and gets laid off. But the question is, why is the pressure different? And so I think he just needs to get a little bit closer to the ball here and pressure the ball to try and stop the cross from coming in. Again, there's still issues that happen behind the ball, but we know that the cross is coming in. So look where the goalkeeper is. Seems planted right in the front post there. So
Again,
here,
sticking up for the goalkeeper, though. Look at the defending positions of the Newton players, Blake.
I was just gonna ask you guys, how do you guys like the right center back and the right back? Obviously, the left center back, he's nowhere close. But what do you guys think of that?
I think the left center back's fine. Right center back's fine. Right back could be tucked in a couple steps and like his hips changed, but they're all staring at the ball. And I think that both those wide attackers have a really easy job of like shaking those guys based on where they're at and where they're faced. That would be what I would say.
I mean, for me, like he's goal side. I like that. He's goal side. I like that. They're tight to him. I mean, you kind of have to look at the ball a little bit. What I'm a little concerned about is just how close they are to the goalkeeper. But then again, the ball's pretty deep here too. So I mean, I don't really mind it, quite frankly. What do you think, Blake?
I thought it was good.
Yeah.
I'm losing track of how the ball gets played in and gets scored on, but like
Yeah.
looking at this,
Well, it
it's
just
like,
goes right in on top of the goalkeeper.
Yeah. I'll play it back in a second here. But
I think they're all right. Like again, I can't see their body shape.
So whether and maybe you guys are both correct on this, but I guess my point is it's not clear to me that their body shape is more like square and facing outward with a hand on them versus maybe like facing their own goal or facing the ball directly, if that makes sense.
I understand what you're saying. This is where the ball is. All right. So here, let's go look at the seconds. So wait, before we go, I'll just tell you my opinion is the problem here, based on what I know what happened, is where the goalkeeper's standing. So next photo. The ball gets looped up. It's in the air, like here. So it gets sent all the way up. And so now what happens is the goalkeeper is backtracking to try and catch the ball. And so let's go watch it again. All right. So there's the throw in. All right. So the ball's about to get crossed. So look where the goalkeeper is, front post. Here comes the cross. So my observation is watch the goalkeeper as the ball comes. He's backing up. Back, 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 back. The ball is almost over the uprights. That's an insanely high cross. And so he's going backwards. And then now as the ball is here, you've got a DCG player that goes to win the ball, and the goalkeeper's on his back foot. DCG player wins the ball, bounces up the goalkeeper, and then just fortunately bounces back off the DCG player into the goal.
You know what, Matt? I don't know. This may go way off thing. They threw the ball into the forward player's feet. DCG did. I don't think Newton can allow that. Right off the throw in, you got to front the target player.
You've got like an extra defender in that scenario.
Yeah,
right?
you got to play like. See, the boys got the ball here.
Here's the throw.
You got to pull. Like, look at the numbers. It's black player. It's 4v2 to the two Newton. They've allowed DCG to get it and play it back. I think that's where it starts.
You're not wrong, Blake. That's a good eye there.
Look at this. There's four.
So the player
players
that turns and starts chasing the ball here, the furthest left player. I mean, gosh, that it even gets there, because then it goes back to his mark, right? He was marking the throw.
He wasn't marking anybody.
Well, right, but he was with like in theory, he was with the guy that threw the ball in. Ball gets played back out to the guy, and so it's a lot of it's just like tracking your runner, understanding your marks, understanding your role, and when to press and when to drop off.
So the guy that we're saying, yeah, right there.
Yeah. I'm with you. But if you watch that far left player, Matt, if you want, I don't know if you can't highlight because it's not a still. But like if you watch him the whole time as the ball goes in the corner, he should be with the guy that throws the ball and who eventually serves it. And that's your guy that you've highlighted.
Right. So is what you're saying is his starting. So see where he is right now.
He should be in theory, he's marking the guy that's throwing the ball in.
In theory, he is. But do you want him a little bit deeper? Because
I would, but then watch what he does. Is he he doesn't really do either. He knows that he's still marking the guy that's throwing the ball, and look, he
so
checks.
now he's kind of pressuring the ball. So either it's like make a decision, right?
Yeah, I mean exactly. I mean he does one or the other is better than what he does.
And then go back to it. There's no way he should pass. The other boy from Newton should pass him off. They should front it and go behind.
Yeah, they have extra players, right, Blake?
Yeah, Matt, go back. So watch, Matt. Keep going. Go ahead and play it. The big, tall, blonde boy in the back passes him off to the midfielder. He should be in front of him.
Right.
But they allow the DCG to receive at his feet.
I see what you're saying.
And now what do you do? Like now he plays it back and you've 2v4. There's no way DCG should be able to get that service in. I don't
This
think.
is the first goal, correct, Matt?
This is the first goal, yeah.
So this makes it 1-0, like early midway in the first half. And at this point, DCG seems in control. And it's really easy to get hung up on it, but it's one of those things like if I'm Newton and if I'm looking at that sub-state that you pulled up before, Matt, like the difference in some of these games, like there you don't give up a goal, and the whole rest of the half they're pretty good.
Totally.
And they score, and maybe they go in 1-0 at half, and that's a different game.
Yeah, I mean we can kind of like slice and dice here, like what our opinions are of like what should have happened in those circumstances, right? But like for me, and maybe we're right about some things and wrong about some things, but
it's just a conversation.
Yeah,
I think, right?
Yeah, totally. But like for me, so it's like, okay, number one, the boy when the ball initially comes in, if it's safety versus risk, if it's safety, you just glance it out of bounds, reset for a corner kick, and then the goal never happens. Given a second chance, he would have done that. Number two, then it's goalkeeper starting position on the near post, right? If he backs up as that ball loops in 50 feet high or whatever high it was, he's moving forward to come and get it, and he catches the ball as opposed to going backwards and then trying to come and get it, right? Number three, it's on the throw in, like you said, Blake. There's a little bit of communication. They pass the guy off. Maybe they don't pass the guy off. They just screen the throw in. And then the player who's actually kind of following the ball doesn't pressure the ball. So there's a number of different things, and it's just a little bit of a tweak that stops the goal. And the first goal was critical.
I love it though. This shows you want to talk about one person's fault? No chance.
Right.
That is a full team's fault, which is a good, not a bad, it's good or bad, but it's never, there's a lot of times it's not one person's fault, which hopefully we just showed.
Yeah. Pull up that next clip, Matt. But while you're doing that, like that's the conversation. And like when I say that, like that's part of the conversation is like, if I'm that team, there are 4 or 5 different things you can look at from that one clip and hopefully improve that are going to like potentially translate into a bigger game when it matters more, so hopefully that's not a mistake that happens when they play in sub-state potentially. So what do we got here? This is a little later in the game.
Yeah. So this is,
it'd be nice, Matt, you figure out where it's at, but Jensen, Lundberg, get Huddle on this so you have a scoreboard in the bottom left corner, because Huddle's done a great job of doing that.
All right, so we'll just go back a little bit. This is the second half.
Blake's apparently getting paid.
So
by
doesn't
on the side.
Newton equalizes, right? 1-1. So Newton equalizes, so it's 1-1 right now. This is now the second half, and
is this the penalty?
Yeah, it is.
Penalty.
So here's a clearance by Newton. Gets kind of pinged around. DCG comes in. Contact. Penalty from the referee.
Or is it?
All right. I want to we did this in the last one. So we watched this together. We broke it down pretty good, but what do you think?
I remember specifically how I felt about this because I'm looking at it, and because of the way the white attacker takes his touch, to me, it looked like the other way around. Like White was defending. So that would mean DCG's defending. In reality, they're attacking. So if he's defending, I'm going, that's not a foul. It's just like he's just clearing the ball. And so like I can't see how it's a foul the other way either. It's just like a little incidental contact, like, and he's put himself off balance, in my opinion.
Matt, show the people one more time if you could.
Do you disagree with me?
I don't.
Okay. So the ball, I mean, it's like helter skelter coming in from right. Newton wins the ball ish.
This good.
Bouncing around. If anything, it's maybe a foul.
Lino doesn't
DCG
put
player.
his flag up.
Right.
That's what I was trying to figure out. He's closest. I mean,
Right.
he's 15 yards away.
This is the deal for me, right? Okay, so there the ball gets cleared. Good pressure by DCG just to sort of keep the ball in play, like in their attacking third. Bad touch there. And then here's the DCG player picks it up, right? So let's watch what he does. I mean, good piece of skill there to beat the player. Now, here's where, okay, so the ball now, no one's really got the ball, and they're fighting to win the ball. So right here, I think Newton's in front of the ball.
Yes.
Right? And so now you've got the DCG player who is off balance, and he's pushing into the back of the Newton player. Right? There it is right there. And boom, now he falls over. And that's called a penalty. So for me, that is not a penalty. No way, no chance.
Look at the reaction too. I think players a lot of times
give it away,
able
don't
to,
they?
Correct. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say only, but one DCG boy puts his arm up. The boy that fell, I don't know if that's McDermott or not, but he doesn't argue. The right winger doesn't argue. And the Lino doesn't put his flag up.
Yeah.
The Newton boys don't retract and like, oh, I didn't foul, right? A lot of times if you foul somebody, you kind of immediately put your arms up. I didn't do it. But there's no reaction other than one Newton boy or one DCG boy that's
calling for
10 yards away.
Yeah, it's interesting too, though. I mean, we talked about that, like with the Ames, Lincoln, just sort of like the confidence as a player to, kind of butt heads with the referee. Like it's definitely discouraged, right? And not for a wrong reason, but like, they may be coached just to like not say anything, right? Just like, like this is what's happening. So, I mean, I think that's tough too. Just because you yell at the referee shouldn't mean that it's a call. The fact that they don't react, I mean, almost like goes to their benefit.
I think if sometimes as a referee, you just again, I don't know, I'm not a referee,
Matt?
But sometimes you just let it go and see what happens. And like sometimes the players can call the game. So when nobody argues, you just keep going.
Are you going to show us the penalty?
Well, I just did.
No, the actual goal.
No, I'm not because he scores. But my point is, I mean, this is where the
people want to see the goal.
Well, the people should want to see like this is where it happens, right? He's leaning in on the guy. He doesn't have position on the ball. If anything, this is a foul on DCG, in my opinion. And then you see what happens in the next still photo where all of a sudden he's now falling this way and the ball's way over here. So this is a big moment in the game though, by the way, too, because it's 1-1. And so there's a huge momentum shift.
So the second half.
Yeah.
Fairly early on. Penalty makes it 2-1.
Yeah.
Going on to clip number 3 right now, which is which goal, Matthew?
This is the third goal. So
let's make it 3-1.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick this up.
This was a good goal
early on. And so this is going to be a free kick by Newton, actually. The 40-yard line is the player that's going to actually free kick it. So the ball goes out of bounds here on the free kick.
We got to work on that free kick, by the way, boys.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a wasted opportunity, but it happens.
I have to add something. Can you guys just watch the free kick guy as he kicks it? Watch where he moves.
That.
Watch where he moves.
The free kick guy would also be the set piece taker.
He's on the 40-yard line. Look where he's going. So everybody else is backing up. All right. We're going to break this down, but the goalkeeper is about to take this goal kick. And let's, there are 3 Newton players that are basically on the edge of the 18-yard box, and we can see exactly what's going to happen here. If the intent here by DCG was to stay deep with their back four to lure 3 Newton players forward, they've done a good job. But I've got some still photos of this still, but there are massive gaps here that are the reason why they get scored on. Goalkeeper, perfect little play here. This boy turns like a dump truck and still has time to play it forwards. Splits the 2 defenders, comes back across. Goalkeeper can't see the shot, and he curls it in the left body.
This is a repeat. A repeat from last week. Ankeny Hawks against Centennial. Almost
more or less
the exact same thing that happened on our podcast 2 weeks ago.
For which goal?
The Ankeny Landon bench. The Lando, the boy that scores the goal, right? They play it long.
Yeah.
A little piece of individual skill. Boom, boom, boom. 5
bada
seconds
bing, bada
later,
boom.
2 passes, the ball's in the back of the net.
Thanks.
Yeah. It is a little similar.
Just the decision making and like as a team, right? Like I think that's really what it boils down to. Like, are you pressing or are you not pressing?
Starting positions for me.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
More or less same, right? Like,
Yeah.
what's the plan? Is there a plan?
Yeah, right. So just look. This is the free kick here. This guy's going to kick it here, right? So look. I mean, there's 3, 1, 2, 3.
And genuinely, like I'm super curious, Newton, Jensen, Lundberg. Like usually when I don't know if he was shooting or not, but usually your center backs, defenders, or some of your bigger boys that are in there to win the ball in the air, and none of those guys went forward.
It's a personnel thing that we probably don't know. Yeah, we must not know the personnel.
Correct.
Regardless, though, it's an attacker in theory, right? Like that must be the left winger or left midfielder or whatever
Who's taking the free kick?
And then he's pressed up the field to be where he would normally play.
Yeah, right.
So
okay,
maybe he's got a big boot. I don't know. What did we call it the other day? A big kick?
Old Evan loves those.
Yeah. He won't hear that though. He doesn't listen to the pod.
So here's the goal. There's the ball with the goalkeeper there, right? So
great goal kick, by the way.
Yeah, credit to the goalkeeper.
It is. So
I
think here's the one thing we haven't talked a ton about when you set up to defend these goal kicks, but like Blake said, we talked about this in the Centennial game, and I think one thing we didn't clarify was because we talked about the role of that first player who actually shapes it left. But when you decide how you want to press, right? I've heard a lot of people call it different things. It's like a full press, half press, low block, high block, whatever they call it now these days. The way I learned it was line of confrontation. So where are you going to confront the ball, right? And so here we know Newton's line. It's
approximately 25 yards from goal, 30 yards from goal.
Well, it's not even. It's you're right. Oh, that's right. 10 for the. So 20 yards from goal, right? So the problem with if you're going to be this high here, then the rest of your guys have got to be here.
Squeeze up.
Right. So
also, like, how many goalkeepers at this level can kick past half?
Like
legitimately, if there's 160 teams in high school soccer, like maybe like 5 to 10 goalkeepers tops can kick past half. Just saying. That's
right. Yeah, I don't know. Based on how they're set up here and what we can
take that bet if anybody wants it.
Well, what we can see in this screen, I think because you're going to give away this short pass all day long, right? But this player should be dropped in here. This player should be dropped in here. This player should be dropped in here, right? And be happy to give this pass away because that's when you start. That's when you can start to have one of your players shape it left or right. But if you play so high here and you leave these signs of gaps in midfield, the goalkeeper is going to split you apart. And that's exactly
Matt,
what happened.
So if you step up, like those 3 are,
Mhm.
what do your other guys behind them have to do?
They're going to step up.
Correct.
Yeah,
so I
it's
think
literally
that's
one
part
or
of
the
the
other,
other
right?
thing is like if they go, rightly or wrongly, explain to everybody like what the midfield and the defenders have to do.
Yeah, they have to go. Well,
So you talk about starting
I
position
thought
for
that's
those
what I
front
just
three.
said, but maybe not.
Blake can only hear out of one ear, so give him a break, all right? But like literally, it is just like step up as a whole group, right, or drop off as a whole group. Either way, I mean, you guys, you want them to drop off. Blake wants them to step up. I think.
I don't care what they do. I think they have to do one or the other.
We agree.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
All
I'm
together,
just-
they have to
yeah,
do
yeah.
something. Whatever they
just-
want to do, they got to do it together.
Right.
Sorry, you're highlighting. It's perfect, and these are exactly. It's the difference.
Yeah. So I've just got this still because this is the
long ball into the channel. That
the ball's
ends up
gone
being
here. This boy is like gotten it here, and he's done like a turn like this. This is embellished.
It's a Colin Lane turn.
Oh,
but I
wow.
mean,
so I just remember
Sorry,
you said
Colin.
the dump truck thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's one of those.
I've heard that at some point. And I love it.
That's like a Matt Kennedy saying right there. Like I've seen.
You can't allow someone to turn like a dump truck, right? Like that. That means it takes
It's a 3 point.
time.
It's a
I've seen
3 point
semi
turn.
turn faster
Yeah,
than that.
3-point turn.
Yeah. So and by the way, when he does finish turning, beep beep. Look at the space now too in between him and the defender. Again, it's a matter of pressure on the ball, and what he's able to do is play it.
Yeah, and just go back really fast because don't go back, but it's literally like he does have like 20 square yards to turn.
Yeah,
like it's not his fault that he does a 3-point turn. He could have juggled it 5 times if he was, Maradona.
right. So he plays it, and then just look how wide open the field is too here. It's not a great still shot, but the ball is actually here with this guy. But I mean, so here now that's a Newton player, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so in 2 passes, they've cut out 10 players.
Yeah.
And so that's really, and then it was a nice piece of skill really by, I think, this guy for Newton, who ended up finishing scoring the goal for sure.
I mean, it's a really nice goal there for DCG. I think they should be happy with it, but it's preventable.
Yep. So those are the 3 I've got for you on the goal. I think on the game, there's another goal later on in the game to make it 4-1. But I mean, think about this,
a nice
right?
goal too, if I recall.
If you're Newton and you've just lost that game 4-1, and you go look at the film on the first goal, you're like, well, we can fix that. And then you say in the second goal, well, I mean, just a penalty shout didn't go our way. So
fix that.
We can fix that. Then on the third goal, I mean, just get together. I mean, it's as simple as if your front 3 are going to be high like that, just move the field 20 yards. I mean, maybe not even that fixes it, or make those front 3 back up 15 yards and they cut the pass out. So now all of a sudden we've eliminated 3 goals. And I forget how they scored the 4th, but there's not a 4th goal in that game if there was never a second goal for DCG. It would have been 2-1 or 3-1 maybe. So 4-1 seems like a blowout, but anything can happen, I think, in the sub-state.
Well, especially too in that sub-state. Sorry, Ben, are you talking about the game still?
No. I'm going your direction.
You go back to that sub-state. We talked about Newton playing Pella to go again. Who knows if I think DCG would go through. DCG lost to Pella earlier in the season. So, I mean, I think DCG's good, really good, really, really good.
What I was gonna say is just like if you were comparing 2 teams, like for like, you have to remember that DCG went to the semifinal last year. Did they make the final or was it the semifinal?
But they did not make the final.
Yeah, they made the semifinal and they were good in the quarters. Like they showed some experience that they have like that level of player in Tate McDermott, Ben Jackson, and then they've got Cy.
I think that's part of the problem though, right? Jackson didn't play. the old Cyrus boy from Shattuck.
Yep,
like, he's been good. He played, but
Those guys
course.
didn't play
well, Jackson didn't play.
Kosrati.
They lost another couple starters weren't playing, and
for
they
DCG.
yeah, and they still say what you want, but like they still were productive, and I think they're
Well,
good.
Yeah, I mean, like I thought there was kind of an arrogance about DCG in a good way in that game.
Yeah, they felt like they were the better team.
As I'm recalling the goal for Newton, I think one of the DCG kind of guy gets up and just kind of does this little arrogant flick. I say that in a very kind way because
Kind of like, we'll get that back. Like,
I think it was
good luck.
not the right decision at the time, but I think they believed and knew that they were the better team. They were. And I think you need some of that. We saw Johnston like full of that last year, and it suited them very well. And so, if they were missing players, good for them.
Yeah, fair enough. So DCG will play Muscatine their final game, which is Friday, and then Newton. I just went right by
Fort Madison, and then Pella in the Sub-State.
There you
Which
go.
again,
So,
like, I don't know, interesting, right? They still have another regular season game, and then they know who they're already playing in the Sub-State
yeah,
semifinal.
definitely just like overall interesting. And ultimately the crazy
There
thing
it
is
is, folks. There it is.
Yeah, there you go. Well done, Matt. Just bringing it back up. So again, a shout out for the YouTube. But I mean, I just think it's crazy and interesting because, like here we are. It's May 10th. We're done with Game of the Week, right? Like it's over. Now we're into sub states. Now we're into the state tournament, and it's going so quick. Cool, guys. Thanks for the feedback.
All right. Well, love a little 3A action for Game of the Week. Well done. Sorry, Zach and Colin. We tried to interview you guys. We didn't find you. The rain was a disaster, but good luck here in the sub-states.
Yeah, right on. Thanks to the Titan Tactician being here and breaking it down. And keep your eyes out for some sub-state coverage, and including a little preview, maybe a little like goal zone action as we go. And then we'll see you at the state tournament. So talk to you soon.